Hey everyone, welcome back to another Fun Fact Friday live here at University Animal Clinic. I'm Dr. Sam, and today I want to talk about our kitties because it's been a little bit since we've done that. I want to talk about our senior cats. And in the title, we talked about they're not just slowing down. You know, our senior cats and all cats in general, they are the master hiders. They are just so good at hiding disease, hiding when they're sick and when they don't feel well. And so sometimes we have to be a little bit of a detective to kind of figure out, is something going on? Is this just behavior changes, or are we not feeling well? And so that leads me to kind of one of the biggest points is to make sure that they have at least an annual, and as they get even upwards of 10 years old, a biannual exam with your veterinarian. This is so important. Our cats for 6 months is almost like 2 years for us. So we wouldn't, as we got older, skip going to the doctor for more than 2 years. And so it's not a good idea that we do that for our feline friends as well. And there's a lot of different things that we're not just looking at, but talking about. You know, we have a lot of different conversations during those senior pet exams, and things we're looking at is something as simple as their nails. You know, these guys tend to get ingrown nails because they're not using their scratching post as much as they could before, or they're arthritic and can't use a scratching post. And so those nails can become ingrown and be painful and even infected. There's an old video way back in the beginning of our Fun Fact Fridays that goes into that even in more depth if you have questions about that for your older cat. We also are going to be looking for signs of pain, specifically for most of our older cats. The most common places are the mouth and arthritis, so in the joints. And this can be from habits and behaviors that you guys described to us, dropping food or not being as excited to eat, things like that, and from maybe just not even getting in and out of the litter box the way they used to, or being reluctant to get in the box, or they only put their front legs in the box and then they're urinating out the back of the box. Simple little things like this that we may just think is something quirky our older cat is doing may for us trigger to think, maybe there's some arthritis there and some pain. Vision changes. So our cats can get cataracts, they can get nuclear sclerosis, which is proteins that deposit in the eye that can affect their vision. They can also get glaucoma and things like that that can be painful. And these are all things that we can see on exam and discuss with you kind of the next steps at that point. Heart and respiratory changes. Our cats can get heart disease that sometimes doesn't always show up as a dog's would. We don't see a murmur or a cough or some of those kinds of things, and that's really important that we do a cardiac exam and listen to your cat's heart. Respiratory changes. Our cats can get asthma, and they can have a wheeze and can require medications, but they can do really great with those meds as long as we can catch that quickly. And then we've kind of started to talk about a little bit mobility and arthritis is a big thing that we look for in all senior pet exams, but in cats specifically, because they don't always have things like a limp or things like that like we would see in a dog, but they can show little things. We talked about litter box changes, not getting in and out of the box as easily or as often as we normally would. You may find them if you have a 2-story home downstairs more often than you find them upstairs, and that can be an indicator that we're too painful or reluctant to go upstairs due to pain. The other thing we sometimes see with some of these guys is they don't want to play as much, and they might hide more often. You may find them sleeping more, which is kind of normal for age, but maybe not for your cat, and maybe not at the speed that you're describing to us. And then weight changes. This is a huge one in our senior cats, and on both ends of the spectrum, right? Weight gain all of a sudden without us changing things to their diet. They're not eating more, they're not getting more treats, but they're gaining weight. This can be signs, not necessarily signs of that this diabetes is causing it, but they can get diabetes when they're overweight. And then arthritis when they're overweight is going to be worse. Of course, the more weight they're carrying on those joints, the more painful they're going to be. And then weight loss, especially significant unplanned weight loss, can make us think about things like hyperthyroidism, which increases their heart rate, increases their metabolism, but also increases their blood pressure and can hurt their heart and their kidneys over time. And that can show up to you guys as a ravenous appetite and unplanned weight loss. Renal disease, kidney disease can show up as unplanned weight loss. And of course, scary things like cancer can cause unplanned weight loss. So barring the exam, what's the next and other thing that we love to do and want to do for our senior pets? And that is lab work, blood work specifically. A lot of the diseases that I just described, diabetes, kidney disease, arthritis, hyperthyroidism, we can catch on that blood work. And some of them we can fix with just a diet change, or at least mitigate with just a diet change. Others require a medication, but as long as we can catch it, they're very treatable with medication. And so important that we do that blood work annually and that we catch those diseases in their infancy, because we can fix them and have a much better prognosis for longevity if we catch them sooner rather than later. So I hope this helped you to think at your little old crotchety cat a little differently. There are things we can do for them, and sometimes they're not just cranky, but maybe they're painful. And we've got some great options nowadays, from joint supplements to pain meds to therapy laser, which is awesome in cats because it's not a medication that's going to affect their liver and kidneys over time. And so we have that here, and we're very proud of it. And if you have questions about it, please don't hesitate to ask. It can do amazing things for joint pain and arthritis. So I hope this gave you guys something new to think about. If you like it, please give it a like and a share. Get this information out there to your friends with kitties and older cats in particular. And if you have ideas for the next Fun Fact Friday, as always, leave it in the comments below. I always want to talk about what you want to hear about, and we'll see you next week.